My dad was military, and one of the things he chose for his boys was sports. I was 7 and he popped a football helmet on my head and let's go. You realize you're not going to make it to the National Football League or wherever the dreams are, and so you go, okay, what am I going to do next? And so very quickly, coaching I realized was my Shangri-La. And so God opened the door and opened it in a big way. Got my wagon hooked to Coach Snellenberger, who just won the national championship at the University of Miami. I'm working for him at the University of Louisville, and so right away that became just an amazing experience. The people he put around me, the level of football, coaching against Deion Sanders at Florida State and Brett Favre at Southern Mississippi, and later on Tony Romo and Tim Tebow, and so really had just some amazing opportunities and experiences as a coach. Football was kind of what almost God chose for me, and that's where I've stayed the last 40 years. 30 series? Food to the new terminology. As a coach, I can will a team to where I know they need to get in order to be successful, but at what cost? Certainly there was a spiritual aspect to my coaching for a long time, but when God brought me here, that became the sole purpose. I can honestly look at a young man and say, you will be blessed by participation in Calvary football because you're on a journey to manhood regardless of what your athletic gifting is. I have a young man in the program right now who was the most insubordinate young fella that we've had, and right now he is a leader. He's a guy that leads the huddle and leads the huddle break and challenges his teammates. He connects it to the Word of God, and I think to some degree to the coaches that God's brought here for him in the football program. Well, I think the measure that the world looks at in terms of a coach or performance or a football team or even a young man's development is very different than how God looks at it. And I think real discipleship involves replication. If I'm making disciples, that means they're going to make disciples. Free people. And so if we are truly freed by Christ, and that is what our athletes are seeing in us, then they are then freed by Christ. And so the people they impact are going to be freed by Christ. And if you don't have that, you're going to be looking to the world to say, hey, am I doing okay? Or maybe the scoreboard or maybe the standings. It's got to be more than that in God's economy. And that's real discipleship.